Good morning, Sheila. How are you today? Good to see you all here. Good morning, Zach. So you guys had a successful weekend back at Virginia Beach. That's awesome. It's good to hear. Hello, Matt. How are you? How was your weekend? Let's see here. Alrighty, good morning and welcome to On the Bench with Big Jim. This is Jim Nielsen, your host. Good morning, Rick. Good to see you. Morning, Blake. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, great deal. Spring break for you. That's awesome. So it's even a better Monday. That's correct. It's kind of weird in my home. Spring break for my wife was last week with Big Ben. She instructs out there at Big Ben, and this week is spring break for Mosaic High School, and in 2 weeks is my daughter's spring break where she teaches down in Utah. So kind of weird spring break, the spring break time. Anyway, today lots to talk about, but we'll get to that after we get with our first visit. Our guest today is Mr. Shelby Ross. Shelby is creator of Ross Outdoor Adventures, and they do hunting and fishing guide service. Excuse me, out at Mardon, out in the Mardon area, and there he is, Mr. Shelby Ross. How are you doing today, Shelby? How's it going?
Good morning, Jim. Beautiful day.
It is beautiful out there. And you're outside and enjoying the weather. I see you have a coat on, so it's a little cool yet.
It is a little chilly. Getting the boat ready to go find some fish.
Find some fish. So as I said, Shelby owns Ross Outdoor Adventure, and you can find the link in the heading to the video. You got a big week coming up. You guys you're currently guiding fishing adventures out there. In the potholes, right? Generally, that's where you do all your guiding.
Well, the way the late winter was, I was fishing on the Columbia River because it was the only open water available, and now the reservoir is opened up, and so we're switching back to home, which is nice to be home.
That's good. Now, I want to get down to the nitty gritty on this. You and I have visited before, and but I wanted you to share with my listeners here. When did you? I mean, obviously you've been doing this a long time, but when did you first start fishing? When did you first get hooked? No pun intended.
Oh, I think at about age 4, my family was always into fishing in the outdoors, and so it just was part of the deal. And I think shortly after I could walk, I started fishing. And
started fishing. Your dad put a pole in your hand, and do you remember some of the first big fish you caught?
You know, I'm originally from North Idaho, and the chain lakes of the Coeur d'Alene River was kind of where it all started, and fished a bunch of little lakes there. And then the family also did a lot of hike-in trips to high mountain lakes and streams. And so then moving to Eastern Washington, it became a bass and walleye deal, and what a place to live.
It's a great place to live here in Central Washington, to be able to take advantage of the outdoors and the hunting and the fishing. And right now it's fishing. You guys are busy loading your boats. How many boats do you have now that you do guides on?
So we're operating 3 boats, and so got a couple other guys that I work real closely with, and one of them is a new addition to the guide service. He's done some goose guiding, and he's a big time bass fisherman. He's just been doing it for his whole life. So the guiding kind of made real sense. And so Levi Rodelo is the new addition who primarily focuses on the bass, but he can go catch the walleye as well.
Now, since you bring Levi up, you guys are doing a seminar at Sportsman's Warehouse on Friday evening, or 5:30, early evening. Tell us a little bit about how this came about.
So the local Sportsman's Warehouse, since they've been open, have been great to work with, and we do some promotions for them, and they do them for us. And so we'll go up there Friday evening and talk about walleye and bass fishing. It'll be a pretty informal deal, and whatever people have questions about, we'll try to cover.
So that's Friday,
Spring fever,
April
and everybody's
5th.
ready to get out and fish. So.
Friday at 5:30.
Yes.
Friday, April 5th at 5:30 at the Sportsman's Warehouse in Moses Lake. And
Yes.
will you guys take turns, or are you guys going to have separate areas to be able to do your seminars, or are you guys going to kind of work together?
Yeah, we'll kind of work together, and we'll just see if there's more people interested in the bass fishing. We'll go first with it, and if it's primarily a walleye crowd, we'll start with the walleye and then switch to bass, and kind of an informal.
Now, for those of us, I grew up actually fishing at the opposite side of the lake of Marlon Resort. Airman, that area up there, my grandpa used to take me up there, and we'd fish from the shore, and my grandpa would catch fish one after the other, and I never caught a thing. And so my my fishing experience probably started off on the wrong foot, and so I never got hooked on it. But for people like myself, I mean, obviously there's a difference in the fish. Tell me, with your best experience, why people gravitate to walleye, why people gravitate to bass.
Well, the walleye are fabulous eating fish, and that's probably a huge chunk of our business. Is people like to take some home for a fish dinner, and
Sure.
Well, that's kind of an important deal to the walleye fishermen. The bass fishing is primarily catch and release. They fight like crazy, and so it's the fight. Take a picture of them and let them go.
And not many people keep the bass to eat.
No, and we encourage the catch and release, and our bass fishery has improved steadily as the catch and release has become more of a standard. It's not mandatory, but it's encouraged.
Can you tell if a fish has been caught multiple times? I mean, does it appear to be where they're hooked?
You can see some hook marks in the mouth of some of the fish, and they seem to recover well.
and get back to fighting another. What do you typically? Obviously, the bait's different. Do you have different lures and different baits for the different fish?
Yeah, so our walleye fishing is primarily trolling, and the bass fishing is primarily casting artificial lures and baits.
Uh-huh.
So totally different setup, and for a complete amateur's never done it, the trolling is just a lot easier setup. You ride in the boat, and we give instructions of how much line to let out, and it's fairly straightforward. The bass fishing, say, is casting near cover and so forth.
Uh-huh. And since you and I have gotten to know each other, you've shared with me some information that you go out and scout areas to find where the certain fish are. Do you ever typically find fish in the same area, the bass and the walleye in the same area?
Yeah, especially late in the fall when the reservoir level's drawn down. The potholes will lose 20 or 22 foot of water level from spring to fall. So that concentrates all the fish to the main body of water. So some of the biggest bass we've ever caught have been targeting the walleye in the fall.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's interesting. And then you just release them. But what else does Ross Outdoor Adventures have to offer its customers?
So we also do guided as well as non-guided waterfowl hunts in the fall. and lots of duck hunts here on potholes. And then we also lease property and do guided goose hunts in neighboring farmland.
Oh, okay. So you kind of have a little bit of everything, but they're seasonal in that you're obviously only allowed to do it during those seasons. Tell us how long does the fishing season go, and then when does it start into the waterfowl? Or did you hear
So
that
the fishing
question?
season is open year round.
Uh-huh.
A little bit of it. Pick up a little bit.
We didn't catch that.
Oh.
We had a little bit of cell problem there. Go ahead and just answer that question again.
So the fishing season is open year round.
Year round, okay.
And the hunting season, the waterfowl hunting, is open mid-October through the last Sunday of January.
Oh,
and
okay.
Once we get busy with hunters, we pretty much quit fishing about the 1st of November. And the weather's turning where it's cold and just not pleasant to be out there chasing the fish. So we switch gears to just the hunting, and then we'll start again in the spring whenever the open water allows. And with the late winter this year, it didn't come until February 1st. We didn't do a whole bunch of fishing until, well, I guess about mid-March I started down on the river fishing trips. But February and March is kind of show season for me, where I'm going to all the different sportsman shows, doing seminars and booking trips, etc.
Okay. So if someone wanted or was interested in booking a trip, is it easiest to go to your Facebook page or to your website? What's the best way to be able to book or find out about your business? Is it better on Facebook or on your website?
Either way, RossOutdoorAdventures.com is the website, and I'm on Facebook. And the Facebook stuff is, current, as we'll post pictures of trips, not daily, but pretty close. And they can always ring me up, and I'll tell them if it's, worth the trip or not. And sometimes the bite is tough, and I'll just tell people, hey, I would wait a few weeks until our fishing's better, and I'd rather have them get a good experience rather than come here now and not catch fish.
So right now it's still a little early, would you say?
Yeah, the ice just came off of the reservoir. The water temp is 36 degrees, and so I'm going out today to try and find some fish and get a little bit better action over the weekend. And so we'll see if spring has finally sprung and the fish are going to cooperate. And we got some big winds coming this week that make it a little tougher to fish, but it's spring, and that's just kind of something you deal with.
Kind of something that happens. So would you say you're pretty much out on the water at least every day?
Oh, I would bet that I'm on the water almost 300 days a year between the hunting and fishing. So it's
wow.
It's a nice office.
it's an excellent office for you. Now this is something that not only you do, your family does this as well. Your daughter is a very, very competent fisher and hunter, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, the wife and daughters are definitely into it, and my younger daughters helped a lot with getting the boats prepped and loaded for the next day. And like in hunting season, we'll cook duck kebabs and duck poppers for the group. And now she has them pre-made, so I don't have to do the preparation in the duck line each morning. It's fabulous. And when she goes off to college, that's going to be a problem.
You're gonna have to find a new helper. You're gonna start taking applications for that.
In another apprentice.
Yeah. So you're trying you said you have 3 boats now. In the past, you've gone from 1 boat now to 3 boats just because your guide service has gotten so popular and so busy, and so you're trying to fill up these other 2 boats. And I imagine that's going to happen once we get probably another I don't know, into the middle of April, you'll start seeing that your availability is going to go down. Have you looked at the progression of your business over the last couple of years? When did you start Ross Outdoor Adventures?
So I started guiding in 1996 for the Meesburg Duck Taxi, the owners of Mardon,
Uh huh.
and then I started guiding fishing, started Ross Outdoor Adventures, I think in 2003, and it's just kind of steadily grown from there. And yeah, the way it's exploded, I had no idea. It was, it was a weekend hobby that's become much bigger. And the
You cut.
walleye fishing has exploded in popularity, and part of that is the decline in salmon and steelhead runs in the Northwest, and people want to fish and are discovering new fisheries, and this is one of them.
Now, does the pothole of the reservoir, does it plant, or does it what does it do to um, bring more walleye, more bass to the area?
The walleye have never been planted here. I believe they were put in Lake Roosevelt in the 50s, and the story that I'm told is there were guys stationed at Fairchild Air Force Base outside of Spokane who were from Minnesota, and they got out here and there were no walleye, and so they brought them from home, put them in Lake Roosevelt, and the rest is history. Everything in Lake Roosevelt is in Moses Lake, Potholes, and Banks Lake because of the canal system that's the water's pumped out of Lake Roosevelt to form the system, and so those fish migrated through the canal system to say Banks Lake, Moses Lake, and Pothole.
Yeah.
And they're not planted, and they've just thrived.
Now, I don't know, it's probably been 10 years ago. I helped with an Eagle Scout project out there at Mardon. Those plastic boxes, the PVC pipe boxes with the netting and the different. We put sagebrush in there. Did those seem to help with the fish habitatry, or however you want to call it? Um, I see that they take them out and put them up in the wintertime, and then do they put them back in the water? In the Has that seemed to help the number of fish?
Yeah, that project's been going on for years, and Mike Meesburg at Mardon researched that, went through a lengthy permit process, and it's actually a copy of a project from Lake Havasu down in Arizona. And what you see in there, all those boxes, they're not removed from the winter. Those are just new boxes ready to put into the lake. And last I heard, there was 2,700 boxes in the reservoir. That was last season, and now there's a bunch more ready to go in. So they just continue building those boxes. And what they do is they create cover for the little fish to hide in. And
right.
So, especially with our low water levels in the late summer and fall, there just isn't the cover there is in the spring when all the weeds and willows and so forth are underwater. So it's created cover for those little fish to survive, hang around for the little fish to come out for a snack. So
that would have been great to hear all that, but the the internet kind of failed us there. But yeah, that was a great project to help out. It was an Eagle Scout project of a friend of mine, and we went out and helped. And so it's good to see that they're continuing that program. Is it grant funded that helps bring in the supplies to build those boxes?
We're in and out.
Yeah, we are. It's you're on the Royal Slope, aren't you?
I'm losing you, Jen.
Yeah, it's not very good. Again, let's your website is rossoutdooradventures.com. Facebook page is the same. This Friday you have a seminar, a bass fishing seminar, a walleye fishing seminar, 5:30, Sportsman's Warehouse in Moses Lake, Friday the 5th at 5:30. Is that correct?
Yes,
Is there
that
anything
is
else?
good.
Is there anything else that information that we could get out for you?
Well, it's a beautiful spring day. It's time to go fishing.
Fine. So you're right there. Give us a look over your shoulder. Let us see what's going on over your shoulder. Oh, I missed you there. Well, Shelby, I appreciate your time. Oh, there it is. And that's the lake, isn't it? Down there.
Yep, that is Potholes Reservoir.
Awesome. Well, Shelby, I thank you for your time. I know you're a busy man. And good luck to you Friday. Hope you have a lot of people come by and check out your seminar there at Sportsman's Warehouse. All righty, man. You take care, and we'll talk to you again come hunting season.
Great, thank you.
All right, man. You take care. All righty. We're going to say goodbye. Take care, Shelby. You have a great day. Be safe out there.
You too, Jim. Thank you.
All right. All right. That's Shelby. Shelby Ross with Ross Outdoor Adventures. He is a super guy and a super guy. He knows where to find the fish, and if that's something that interests you, make sure you get a hold of him. Again, he'll be at Sportsman's Warehouse on Friday, April 5th at 5:30. And you can check out his website at www.rossoutdooradventures.com, and you can find him on Facebook. And he does a lot of that fishing. I want to wish Edwin Javier Gutierrez a happy birthday, as well as Matt Laney. Matt is the owner of Ephrata Collision Repair over in Ephrata, and they're having birthdays today. And something we haven't mentioned, it's April Fool's Day. Are you planning on any April Fool's shenanigans? Let me know. I would like to hear of any types of shenanigans that possibly are going on. The Moses Lake Wrestling Club and also Freedom Wrestling Club, they went over to the Montana Open. I do know of two of the champions from Moses Lake. Everett Ashley won the U15 200 weight pound class, and Maximus Zamora won U15 probably 132 or 138 or something like that. So congratulations to those two young men. That's all that I'm aware of right now. Winning some wrestling tournaments at the Montana Open this last weekend. I know that the team took a bunch of little kids as well, so we want to congratulate them and their efforts. A lot of little kid wrestling going on that I'm able to see on Facebook. If you can let me know how you guys did, I can share it. Other interesting things. Have you been watching the Mariners? Where's Allison White? How did the boys do, Allison? How did the kids do over at the Montana Open? Let me know. Let us know. Post it here on the broadcast. That would be great if you could do that. Back to the Mariners. The night they lost, I think it was Friday. I watched the entire game. Sat and watched the entire game. Good morning, Levi. How are you today? And they led the entire game until the ninth, and broke my heart. Broke my heart to invest all that time, and the fact that they didn't take Strickland out. He had hurt something, but he wanted to stay in the game. And that wasn't the best. That wasn't in the best interest of the Mariners for him to stay, and for Service to allow him to talk him into staying in the game, and then giving up those extra hits. And then he goes on the injury reserve list. Seems to 5-1. Should we be complaining with a 5-1 record? I don't know if I should complain about a 5-1 record. It's amazing that the Mariners are having so much offense with all of the new people that basically the Mariner faithful had no idea who these guys were. And like yesterday, before I checked in, oh, that's a great story there. That's a great. The Mosaic Wrestling Club's bus broke down, and the Freedom Wrestling family, the Freedom Wrestling Academy, drove an hour back to pick up some families to get them there to Montana. That's a great story, and the friendly service have come in to rescue those people that had car problems on their way to the tournament in Billings. I think it was Billings. That's a good story. Thank you, Allison, for sharing that. The wrestling community, they stick together, even though there may be some issues. Oh my gosh, they're still there. Broken car is still there. Oh no. But anyway, back to the Mariners. Should we be complaining with a 5-1 record? And it's kind of amazing that they're where they're at, because when everybody left, all of the big names left, it seemed to think that the Mariners were going to be last place all season. I know it's early. It's way early to be talking about that stuff, but it's what we're talking about right now. The Mariners are playing some really good baseball, and what's going to happen? I honestly don't know if anyone knows how this year is going to end up. Things are looking good right now, other than the sketchy play from the bullpen. And oh wow. Anyway, what do you guys think? Does anybody have an opinion about the Mariners and what is going on in that? I'm wondering if the Mariners can hold it together for such a long season. We still have 155 or so games left, and when you think about it, that's an awfully long year, and it is something that Cal Seager's out, and that was 3 errors in the bottom of the ninth, or the top of the ninth, really had me wanting to switch off the television the other night. I don't know about you guys, but I was not happy. I was not happy with the way the game was going, and then to have the young man make error after error after error. I mean, they were, consecutively. They were one after the other after the other. It was amazing, and I, it, it, the errors weren't reflective, but the fact of the no confidence in the bullpen. And last year it was in the middle relief. Diaz was probably sounder than most relievers, but it was tough to watch, and that comes down to service, making those critical managerial decisions late in the game. And my concern is he going to be able to is he going to continue to make those crazy adjustments and decisions that and I don't profess to be a baseball aficionado or expert, but my opinion is that I don't have a lot of confidence in late, and it's early in the season, but the Strickland, I have no confidence in him, and now that he's hurt, it's kind of more kind of glad that he's not there to be asked to do anything, and we'll see what goes on there. I want to thank Jay's Teriyaki for being on board as our first sponsor. It's great to have him be involved with us. I appreciate JJ and his willingness to support what we're trying to do here and bring a little entertainment to you all. And well, that didn't go. See if we can get this to paste. Nope, that didn't go either. Let's try this again. Anyway, but I want to thank Jay. Folks, if you enjoy teriyaki chicken or any of the noodles and rice, that kind of stuff, that's who you want to go see, is Jay's Teriyaki on the corner of Broadway and Ash. Alder Street Bridge, excuse me. And they have wonderful egg rolls, and the food there is just dynamic. And it is something that you should... It's just wonderful, and the link that I just shared is a link to be able to get their app to put on your phone, so that you can have a great meal for a great price. But I want to thank Jay and Jay's Teriyaki, and go down there and get yourself. They have specials on Mondays, so go check them out down there on the Alder Street Bridge. We looking for more folks to help. So if you would like to get involved in sponsoring this show, please contact me here on Facebook. My cell number is in the main post, and you can get involved in helping us. We're looking for sponsors and people who want to help us. I'm going to share another sponsor. I'm going to put them in here. And this is my business. If any of you are looking to improve your... It's not going to share, is it? No, it's not going to share. But Central Payment is the name of my business, and It's a credit card processing company. If you have issues with your credit card processor, get in touch with me, and I can help ease some of the problems that come along with payment processing and merchant servicing, and locally can take care of anybody here in the Columbia Basin. I have business in Oregon and Idaho and Utah, so I can go pretty much anywhere that I need to. But if you're not happy with your credit card processing, if you think you're being charged unfairly, let me know. Contact me, and I can see if you're being dealt with fairly. That's what we try to do. We try to help people help make their business more successful. That's the whole idea. Anyway, I want to last thing I was going to mention is are you happy with the Final Four? Next weekend we'll have Texas Tech taking on Michigan State, Virginia taking on Auburn. The Final Four of the basketball season, NCAA basketball season. That's going to be happening. On Wednesday's show, we're going to be talking with Rob Zabel and Brian Alfie of Center Circle Wrestling Camp, and see if I can't also get some other I'm trying to get somebody else to add into that show on Wednesday. But we're going to be talking about these camps that these coaches are putting on to help kids get better. Been a lot of wrestling. Washington had several kids go back to nationals and do well. Freshman Isaiah Anderson ended up taking second place at the national tournament at 195 pounds. Ran into a buzzsaw from Ohio in the finals. Heidi Adams also took second place. And so we've had some high finishers. We had some kids come home with medals. The Montana tournament, we had a couple champions, Max Zamora and Everett Ashley, won over the weekend in Montana. It looks like they're still trying to get back from Montana. And wrestling is it's a year-round sport. Can be a year-round sport now, and a lot of people, are diehards into it. And those that are the ones that are successful. And you see those that are successful in it because they put in the time and effort and are willing to go to these big tournaments and put it all out there on the line. So it's all a good thing. So many sports going on still. Softball's just starting, baseball's starting, track and field are getting going here in the spring, and it's a busy time. Right now it's spring break for Moses Lake schools. It's a little tough, but it'll be some stuff that we are able to enjoy over here over the next couple of weeks. And just a funny thing that just came across was Tom Brady did a funny April Fool's joke as he faked that he was going to retire from playing in the NFL. And I think he has a good sense of humor, and that's a funny April Fool's joke, if you ask me, even though I don't like him very much. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in today. I appreciate you thanks again for being a part of On the Bench with Big Jim. I want to thank again my guest, Shelby Ross, Ross Outdoor Adventures. Friday, they will be having a seminar at Sportsman's Warehouse, and you can go down there 5:30. Also, Big Bend is having their first annual Building the Dream dinner and auction out at the ATEC building fundraiser supporting Big Bend Athletics, sponsored by the Big Bend Viking Booster Club. This Friday, 5:30 is a social, 6:30 is an auction. 6:30 is dinner. 7:10 is the program and auction. So get out there and support Big Bend Community College Viking Athletics. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. And we will see you all on Wednesday. Take care, everybody, and have a great day. We'll see you.